Lord also showed me that politics is going to get more violent, more violent. Back in April, the Lord told me, and I didn't release this because I was saving it for now, and I was praying through it, and I pray through things a long time before I release them, because it's not responsible to just get a word and release it immediately. That's what you're seeing a lot in the prophetic movement today that's caused a lot of trouble. In April, the Lord told me we're going to see mysterious deaths, listen, mysterious deaths or attempted assassinations, kidnappings, and other events. So any of these things, we're going to see mysterious deaths, attempted assassinations. Maybe they won't die, but there was attempted. And other events like we see in the movies. And the Lord said within the next 3 years, I don't time things usually. The Lord has to really speak to me about a time for me to say a time. Within the next 3 years, a major figure in politics will see an untimely death, and suspicion will surround it. Now, I believe we can stop that through prayer. This is what is on the devil's program. I believe we can stop anything that's not the Lord's will through prayer. Now, what was really interesting, though, is I just looked up on the internet because I'm thinking, has this already happened? Because I really, after about January, I unplugged from the news completely. After the Capitol riots, I was so grieved, I couldn't stand to look at it anymore. And so I've stopped looking at the news at all. Today I did, and this just happened yesterday. Colombia. Who said that? Yep, in Colombia. But you're not from Colombia, you're from Venezuela. You're from Colombia, he's from Venezuela. Okay, look at the odd couple there. I didn't know Colombians and Venezuelans liked each other. Yeah, Colombia's president, Ivan Duque, he described a helicopter carrying him and several senior officials that came under fire. The president's helicopter came under fire, a direct attack on a presidential aircraft. And the president said the cowardly, quote unquote, cowardly attack would not make him stop fighting drug trafficking, terrorism, and organized crime. It could have been, he could have been dead. That could have been the fulfillment of that prophecy. I believe we need to pray for our leaders, because the enemy wants to take them out because it causes upheaval in nations. Remember when JFK that caused upheaval? When Ronald Reagan was shot, that caused upheaval in our nation. When Queen Elizabeth dies, that's going to cause upheaval in England. When major leaders are taken out, or whether even die naturally in office, it will make a lot of turmoil in a nation. But on top of that, we're going to see more violence in America and other nations surrounding elections. It's going to be rising around elections. So we're going to pray that away. We need to pray and shut down activities that some outlets are reporting in August. We saw what we saw at the U.S. Capitol in January was just a foreshadow of what the enemy wants to do, not just in our nation, but in other nations. So we have to pray. Now, Cindy Jacobs had prophesied a couple years ago that a spirit of violence was let loose in the earth. But now, right now, the enemy is yes, we're seeing black men killed on the streets. Yes, we're seeing even hate toward Asians now. Yes, we're seeing violence springing up in many areas. But the political arena, the governmental mountain, is a key target for this spirit because, and here's why, because the enemy is trying to manifest Daniel 7:25. The enemy is trying to manifest Daniel 7:25, which says, he shall speak words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Listen, and think to change times and laws. And the enemy knows if he can attack the governmental mountain, if he can convince people to put the wrong people in office, or if he can bring murder and assassination, scandal, tempt these leaders to go into these scandals. We've seen a lot of leaders in scandal. I mean, Clinton had a pretty big one, and that's nothing compared to some of the stuff that goes on in the government mountain. So the enemy is all up in that government mountain, and the enemy is trying to change times and laws. That's what's happening. That's why this is happening. So in this hour, we need, governmental intercessors, not political intercessors. Please, we have to lay down our own biases and political preferences and pray without ceasing over the governments of our nations. And the government of the earth really is the prayer room. We legislate in the prayer room. I know there's natural laws, but God's laws supersede natural laws. God can bring and birth a miracle. God can do the impossible, and he wants to, but he hears and answers prayer.